pleasure, comfort, stability, security. Because it completely changes balance, attitudes, and habits, the Stirrups KVALL combine harmony between man and horse for better performances. The rider must always adjust to the horse's movements, but not disturb it, in order to stick to the horse entirely. Movements change depending on the ridden field. We shall see how the Stirrups KVALL and its full balancing floor enable us to accompany its best movements. But before that, we will get back on physics fundamentals and the relation between our body, gravity, and its interaction in our balance, contact regulation, and postures that come with it. Lastly, we will compare classical stirrups to the Stirrups KVALL. We will notice their difference and incidence on performance, and we'll find out that all equestrian arts and all levels are concerned. Gravity, no matter if man or horse, attracts us all towards the center of the earth. The ground gives us resistance from which we can straighten up. We erect and move thanks to our balance and contacts. Posture arouses from the body alignment of three bone volumes around a vertical axis: head, ribcage, and hips, all linked to the backbone. The backbone is not straight and combines physiological curves, which are very important for flexibility and strength. Keeping a straight attitude means piling up our volumes and not forcing a straight backbone. This would bring stiffness and hold us from having free movements. Muscles enabling us to erect are mostly on the back side of our body, going from the arch of foot to the head. When the heel is not in contact, backside muscles contract in order to avoid falling, which stiffens us. If the heel is in contact, the muscular chain enables us complete reactivity and pleasure. The horse is extremely sensitive to our contracting muscles. Thanks to this dynamic and relaxed muscular activity, the rider can start an efficient dialogue with his horse. Keeping balance consists in maintaining the center of gravity above the contact base. If the projection of the gravity center gets out of the surface, the body becomes unbalanced. When the contact base is larger, the body is steadier and the equilibrium becomes easier. Balance is dynamics. It is a permanent adjusting process. It builds up within a reacting movement to light and balancing. Balance means taking information transmitted through sensorial captors, which are mostly situated within the internal ear, eyes, and feet. We balance mostly with our head and our feet. The head works as balance regulation, just like a sensorial platform, which we stabilize within movement while our body still moves. Easy to understand then that a rider can lose his balance when his eye contact loses the horizon. Feet play a role in balance regulation at two different levels: mechanical and nervous. On a mechanical basis, the body weight comes to the heel between 50 and 70% of the activity. The body strength redistributes in the whole foot from the heel contact. On a nervous basis, the foot is in a true tactile retina, with numerous sensorial captors present in muscles, articulations, and skin. The foot gives an incredible amount of information. Pressure indicators give us information only if the foot is in contact. Full contact accelerates the reaction speed to unbalancing. Built upon 3 contact points in the heel, the arch of foot gives flexibility and resistance. It favors blood circulation, particularly important while spending long-lasting muscular efforts, such as in endurance riding. On the ground, a body without contact points falls. On a horse, the rider gets his contacts through the saddle and the stirrups. The Stirrups KVALL enable outstanding balance thanks to 2 major functionalities: the suspension triangle for stability and the full flooring for the stirrups, allowing the rider to use the whole foot for balancing. The rider's body absorbs the horse's movements, and absorption can only be truly efficient if muscles stay flexible. On the classical stirrup, backside muscles refrain from going down. The heel has no contact and is stopped by these stiff muscles. Relaxation is hard to find, and the stiffness refrains the ankle from being flexible. Pushing hard on heels for them to go down means blocking all articulations and goes against every physical law. Let's look at the rider's absorption with the Stirrups KVALL. The ankle's flexibility goes with a complete muscular relaxation, enhancing a physical economy. The ankle bends, which we can notice by how the knee comes forward. Thanks to full contact on the Stirrups KVALL, we see a much more elastic absorption, especially since it is enhanced and stabilized by the arch of foot. The horse's movement feels different within the rider's body, depending on his position, sitting or 2-point riding. When sitting, the horse's movements prevails in the hips and the backbone. To be of concrete help, the rider's seat needs free articulation of the hip, letting the movement flow and allowing the leg to stay stable. A full contact on the stirrup enables hips relaxation. The stirrup's floor becomes then a sensitive point. The rider's seat is right when the foot stays in complete contact with the stirrup's floor. When 2-point riding, the movement is absorbed by the combination hip, knee, ankle. In this position, our legs allow us a better absorption than would naturally do the backbone when sitting, especially when it is shaking. In order to help the backbone, it is good to ride 2-point, especially for long-lasting or insecure riding. The horse will benefit from it too. Recent studies show that horse performance is enhanced through 2-point riding. Bigger movements, speed, regularity, and ventilation enhancement. Each corporal activity requires balance at first. When riding a horse, balance is a part of equestrian techniques and know-how, but also a part of the communications quality between the rider and the horse. Weight on a horse is a communication tool. The horse is indeed very sensitive. The more precise the rider is when using his weight, and the easier and better quality will be the relation to the horse. We can observe an example with this young mare. Her rider guides her with his weight as main indication. He can play with it, going from right to left, forward to backward. He can get closer to the saddle and give more or less weight. he plays with his muscular strength, true communication tool. The horse feels it completely as his muscular strength reflects upon our emotional state. The communication field is enlarged by this complete flooring of the stirrup cavale, revealing as an exceptional interface between rider and horse. Let's now have a look at this longitudinal balance of the horse, so important in all equestrian disciplines. Longitudinal balance means the ability for the horse to get back up with his rear legs. Control over the horse's balance is eased by the full floor of the stirrup cavale. It enables him to regulate precisely his own balance, and therefore the balance for his horse. The stirrups KVALL also enable aid independence. Using her legs is another communication tool with a horse. When squeezing legs, it is a communication code, which will even be better understood as the squeezing will be used only for communicating and not for the rider to find balance and stay close to the horse. The hands movement is right when the arm is free to play in all articulations and stays in harmony with the horse's mouth. All this becomes possible when keeping the central axis straight. We can see the consequences of losing balance for this rider through the attitude of the horse. The tail is firmly moving, the horse is in defense and has trouble staying in a forward movement. To answer these attitudes, the rider squeezes his legs and therefore blocks completely contact, reinforcing the horse's defense. With the stirrups KVALL, the three articulations, hip, knee, and ankle, fully play their role in the contact, helping the horse to keep his movements flexible. We can see the reaction of her feet contact upon her central axis. The way she apprehends the downhill is different. With classical stirrups, she refrains it. Her look is on the horse. With the stirrups KVALL, she rides through the downhill and her look goes to where she is going. Now, let's have a look at her hands. We can see that she brings them back towards her with classic stirrups, whereas they go forward and towards the mouth of the horse with the stirrups KVALL. Also notice how her contact to the horse is efficient. In these two examples, we can conclude that thanks to the integral flooring maintaining the body's central axis, independence of aids is clearly eased. Now, let's compare the difference when jumping. At first sight, differences are not obvious because the rider has developed a confident technique. But if we watch closely, we'll see how the contact of his archer foot influences his movement's efficiency. First, let's see where the center of gravity is. Compared to his contact surface just after the jump, with classic stirrups he's very much forward, and the rider at this point is completely unbalanced. With stirrups KVALL, his center of gravity projects correctly upon his contact surface. His unbalancing also is noticeable when looking at the direction of his head and of his look, both looking down with classic stirrups and in front of him with the stirrups KVALL. Now let's see how he came to unbalancing at the jump's reception. With classic stirrups, he takes support on his knee around which he turns, the top of his body bends forwards, and legs backwards. With the Stirrups KVALL, at the same time, his knee keeps on moving forward. He is receptioning the impact by bending his ankle. The lower part of his leg stays vertical, helping so to regain contact on the stirrups floor and find balance very much quicker. We can also look at his hands when preparing the jump. With classic stirrups, his body comes forward and his ankle gets back towards him. The line between his elbow and the horse's mouth is broken, whereas with the Stirrups KVALL, his arm is supported. His hand goes towards the horse's mouth, and the line and contact between mouth and elbow is maintained. Balance concerns all equestrian arts, all riding levels, from initiation to high performance. To conclude, the Stirrups KVALL are stability with the suspension triangle, balance thanks to the complete flooring, security with the unclipping system and the rider's stability, comfort, and endurance gained through muscular economy. The Stirrups KVALL answer a double demand. First, as a true learning tool, and also as a fantastic performance gas pedal.